Welcome back to Winners and Losers, the show that looks at the highs and the lows from around world football. This weekend, sat in the hot seat, is a very ill Patrick Van Straten.
I'm not doing well. I'm dying.
He's sneezing, he's coughing, he's spluttering. It's disgusting, but he is happy because Tottenham Hotspur are in the winners' pato.
I couldn't be happier, Joe. Future Man United manager Mauricio Pochettino working wonders with Tottenham Hotspur.
Yes.
They beat Watford 4-0 at White Hart Lane. To be honest, that's not very hard. Unless you're Arsenal. Unless you're Arsenal. People have battered Watford this season.
True.
Lest we forget, Liverpool beat them, I believe it was 6-1 at Anfield. I stopped counting because I don't care. Tottenham are now in a very commanding position in second place. The fact that Chelsea are so far ahead of the rest of the league has meant that we haven't focused enough on how far Tottenham are ahead of third place. They're now 7 points clear of Manchester City, 5 ahead of Liverpool, who have actually played one more game. They've got 7 wins on the bounce. That's a run stretching back to February.
That's incredible.
It's incredible, especially as we've seen Arsenal and Liverpool fall away in that time, and Man City be kind of erratic, as well as United dropping points for these continual draws. They've won 11 Premier League home games in a row. That's their best winning streak at White Hart Lane since 1987.
That's ridiculous.
1987. And to put this into context, how consistent they've been over the last couple of years, basically since Pochettino got them up to scratch, they've taken 138 points since the beginning of last season. Now, the next best total in that time is Man City with 127 points. So Spurs are 11 points clear of them. Then Arsenal, then Chelsea, then Liverpool. So they have been so good in this time. And that team is so young that you really do wonder what's going to happen when some of those guys hit 24, which is the age we traditionally see players start to hit their peak. They've scored 17 goals in their last 5 games, despite having no Harry Kane. Is there any stopping Tottenham Hotspur?
I don't think there is. Dele Alli has taken up the mantle brilliantly.
Yes, he has.
He has 19 goals in all competitions for Pochettino, and boy oh boy is he grabbing the headlines, and mainly because of statistics like this. Dele Alli, 20 years old, has a hand in 40 Premier League goals. Frank Lampard, Steven Gerrard and David Beckham combined had less than that before the age of 21. He's on ridiculous form in 2017. He's had a hand in 14 goals in 13 games, just keeps banging them in and getting assists as well. I mean, to put it into perspective, when you combine him and Harry Kane's numbers, it adds up to 35 league goals. That's better than 6 Premier League teams altogether, their actual whole 11. That's ridiculous.
Jesus.
Dele Alli can't stop scoring, and it's also a testament to Pochettino's squad. Players like Heung-min Son, who have been in brilliant form, subtly, silently behind the scenes, whilst Harry Kane's grabbed headlines, Dele Alli's grabbed headlines. Son has got up to 18 goals in all competitions now, 11 in the Premier League, 6 in the FA Cup, and 1 in the Champions League. They are a serious, dangerous side. It's a shame that Chelsea is so far ahead, but Tottenham Hotspur, what a team.
Our first losers of the week are Barcelona. They lost 2-0 away at Malaga, Joe.
That is ridiculous. Honestly, they dominated the game as well. 67% possession, 11 shots to Malaga's 8. They had 85% pass accuracy, as you'd expect from a Barcelona team, but it all went wrong. On a weekend, they could have capitalised on Atleti and Real dropping points as well to make it even worse. And Neymar, he summed up Barcelona's day. No shots on target, 38% dribble success, and of course he was sent off in the 65th minute. A second yellow card, and it actually now seems like he could miss El Clasico. That's mainly because he berated the referees, berated the fourth official as he walks off, and now La Liga could well ban him for 1 extra game. Now, I'm sure there's going to be Barcelona fans everywhere going, conspiracy, conspiracy, Real Madrid, conspiracy. But if he wasn't such a little bitch, it wouldn't have happened in the first place. He is the first Barcelona player as well to get sent off in 59 games. But he has got form. It's actually his 5th sending off of his career, and he's still very, very young. He had 3 for Santos, he's had 1 for Brazil, and now he's got 1 for Barcelona. Combine that with the fact that this is their 2nd loss in a month, which doesn't sound that bad for Barcelona. That is fucking terrible. It's not a good day at the office for Luis Enrique.
Well, Malaga just let them do what they want to do. Sometimes with Barcelona, we see teams just say, all right, you have the ball, and we'll just stop you doing what you actually need to do, which is get the ball into dangerous zones. Malaga barely had it. They had 210 passes in this game to Barca's 534. And both their goals came on the counter-attack. The first came from Sandro Ramirez, who actually, of course, is a Barcelona Academy graduate. And then the second came from substitute Rony in the 90th minute. In the end, he had 1 shot on target, and that is more than Lionel Messi had in this match. Lionel Messi had 9 shots in this match. 9 shots. That's absolutely outrageous. That's about double what Sergio Aguero has in an average match. And not a single one of them was on target. It was desperation. And look, the thing is, the upshot is, anyway, Barcelona have missed out on the chance to go just below Real Madrid. They'd have been joint on points, but, of course, Real would have had a game in hand. And as Joe said, it's just tough times for them. They've had the chance to get back into this title race again and again and again, and they've given it up. But this was a crucial victory for Malaga. They're down in 14th. They've got 33 points. This was only their 8th win of the season. But to get it against Barcelona, pretty impressive. Barca, you're comfortably in our losers. And Malaga, we're sorry that we couldn't find space for you in our winners.
Our next winners come from Liga NOS. Oh, dearie me. Bas Dost is on fire, Pato. Somebody put him out and you hate him.
No, just leave him on fire. He's fucking trash. But look, he did do well in this game. He got a hat-trick as they beat Boavista 4-0 in this match. They're now 3rd in the Liga NOS, but still 8 points behind Benfica and 7 off Porto. So they're not going to trouble the trophy presentation at the end of the season. Bas Dost, another man of the match performance. 6 shots, 3 goals, 92% pass accuracy. That is very impressive. 5 aerial duels won, that is what he does. 2 successful dribbles. Now, if one thing could tell you that Portugal is not a top league, it's that Bas Dost has 2 successful dribbles. I'm sorry, everybody who keeps tweeting at me, every time I say he's rubbish, then he scores, you're not going to change my mind. He isn't good. Like, I've seen how many goals he scored. He's still not good. Like, I'm sorry, guys, he's rubbish. But, well done, 13th Man of the Match award this season. Jesus Christ.
That's impressive.
It's in Portugal. It's in Portugal, mate. Come on. Second hat-trick of the season. Do you know who he scored? You know who he scored 4 against earlier in the season? Tondela. What a team. The team of champions.
But he also has 6 braces this season, which is very impressive. I kind of disagree with Pato. He's not the greatest player on God's green earth, but
no, he is not.
He is in good form this season. 14 goals in his last 10 matches, 27 goals in 24 games in Liga NOS. Where Sporting would be without him, God only knows. He's joint 2nd top scorer in Europe, mate. 2 behind Cavani, he's level with Messi, and he's 1 ahead of big man Robert Lewandowski.
And Bayern should sell Lewandowski and bring in Bas Dost. That's what they should do.
Throughout his career, he has scored goals. 52 in 73 in the Netherlands with Heerenveen. He actually got 39 in 38 in his final season there. Then he went to Wolfsburg. Not quite as successful. He got 48 in 107. And now he's doing it again. Like I said, 27 in 24. I think he's a pretty decent player, but can he win European Golden Boot this season? Please, oh please let him win it. Everybody tweet at Patrick Van Straten when he does, giving him abuse. Let us know in the poll of my head if you think he can do it.
Our next losers are Borussia Dortmund, and if you've seen this scoreline, you'll understand why. Joe, what happened?
Yeah, Bayern Munich murdered them 4-1 at the Allianz Arena. It was not a pretty day for Dortmund. They got spanked in every single department, far and away second best. 70% possession to Bayern Munich, 92% pass accuracy compared to 80%, 13 dribbles to 7, 11 to 5 in aerial duels, 30 tackles to Dortmund's 24. It was a mauling. Ribery, Robben, 2 from Lewandowski on the day, saw it over the line. And quite frankly, Dortmund are very lucky boys that Hoffenheim dropped points as well, as Hoffenheim would have been 4 points clear in the Champions League places. But Dortmund, it's worrying. They are not the team they once were, despite bringing in young stars. Dembele, who we've talked about all season as being a worldie, gave away a silly error, let Lewandowski in for the first goal, and it got no better from there on in. Thomas Tuchel's men very, very disappointed on the day. Hans-Joachim Watzke as well, the director at Dortmund, he was fuming. And after the game, he came out saying Aubameyang could well leave if Real Madrid or Barcelona come in with a big offer. Worrying times if you're a Borussia Dortmund fan. Very, very worrying.
Yeah, well, you can understand that they think, oh, well, Monaco are beatable in the Champions League, so we're going to rest some players for it. But on the other hand, you think, is it not more... They're probably not going to win the tournament. Yeah. And so it's more important to their futures to stay in those Champions League places. So, yeah, resting people when they knew Hoffenheim were going away to relegation strugglers Hamburg seems like an odd choice. But Bayern just took advantage. They do what they always do. They took care of business. Yes. They're now 10 points clear at the top of the table. Dortmund are down in 4th place. Dortmund are on 50 points. Hoffenheim 51. And then Leipzig and Bayern are well ahead of them. It was a great way to bounce back for Bayern after they lost to Julian Nagelsmann's Hoffenheim. Yeah. And it encourages them before their game against Real Madrid this Wednesday. What a huge fixture that is going to be.
What a huge fixture.
But another Bundesliga title coming their way. Another Meisterschale on its way to Bavaria.
We're heading over to Italy for our final winners. Napoli, a happy bunch of players, Pato.
Yeah, they won 3-0 away at Lazio. It's a really impressive result. They've now equalled their record points tally after 31 match days, which they set last season.
Really?
67 points, which is interesting given that the perception has kind of been they lost Higuain and they haven't been quite as good this year. But Sarri is making improvements, and who knows, maybe next year you can finally challenge for the Scudetto. They took their chances. They had 64% possession. They had a higher pass success than Lazio. They got a goal relatively early on, 25th minute. Callejon, using that pace, tap home a hamstring cross at the far post. We see a lot of that. He uses his pace to burst into the box and get on the end of those long balls. Now, Lorenzo Insigne also pokes in a pass from Alan. Yeah, he's now got 13 goals in Serie A this season. That's his best result ever in a single campaign. And he not only scored 2 goals in this game, he cleared a shot off the line. And it would be amazing if they could keep hold of him, because every summer he's linked to Arsenal. Every summer, mate. He's our Nico Gaitan.
He is like, combined with Dries Mertens, a full human. They're both so small, but they're both crushing it in Serie A.
They're little like munchkins.
Yeah, they are. Just tiny. They're like the borrowers of Serie A, but they are doing bits, and they are carrying heavy loads. But Lazio, on the day, were very, very wasteful. They had 17 shots, but only managed to get 5 on target. They also had more dribbles, more tackles, more aerial duels, 1 as well. And that is just their 7th loss of the season, the same as Fiorentina, who are all the way down in 8th. 8th. I can't say the word, but it is 8th in Serie A. For Napoli, though, it's their 5th match without a loss after beating Juventus as well midweek in the Coppa Italia. But for me, it seems like the Scudetto is over. Juventus are going to win it anyway. Who honestly cares about Serie A? Because it's won every season by about mid-March by Juventus. It honestly is. Somebody's got to sort that fucking league out, put some money in. Hopefully the Chinese do it with Inter Milan and AC Milan, because it's god-awful to watch at times. It really is god-awful.
Oh, Leicester City next in our losers. My God, we thought they were never going to lose again since Craig Shakespeare took over, but this week he's written them a tragedy.
He has indeed. They got thumped 4-2 at Goodison Park by Everton, fronted by the main man, Romelu Lukaku, who Pato's going to talk about in a bit. And this was a crazy game. Within the first 10 minutes, 3 goals were scored. Obviously, youngster Tommy Davis, who wears his shin pads so low. I really do enjoy it. He wears his shin pads so low. He obviously got on the score sheet. And it was a classic. It really was a first half classic. A great game to watch. It was actually Leicester's first loss since Claudio Ranieri left the club. It was Craigie Shakespeare's first loss. I'm not sure he'll be too disappointed. I think he did have half a mind on the midweek Champions League game against Atletico Madrid. He obviously rested Riyad Mahrez, who came on, and he looked really energetic when he came on as well, Riyad Mahrez. Whoever signs him this summer is going to be getting a bargain. But Everton on the day were dominant. 60% possession, 12 shots to Leicester's 6, 81% pass accuracy to Leicester's 74. But like I said, I think that Leicester had half a mind on the Champions League place, and this was just a great game to watch for the neutral.
Yeah, I don't think that they'll be too bothered. Everyone's gone away to Goodison Park this season and had a tough time. We've seen Arsenal lose there. Man City had a rough ride there. So I don't think that they'll be too bothered. They'll be more concerned that they did have to bring Mahrez on and he couldn't get a full rest. But Everton were just at the races. They've got 7 successive Premier League home victories now. That matches their club record. Phil Jagielka has scored 2 Premier League goals in the last 6 days. His previous 2 Premier League goals came over a period of 897 days.
What?
That is mental.
It's like 3 years.
That is mental. But like you said, Romelu Lukaku, we have to talk about this guy. 3 shots, 2 goals in this game. He scored in 7 successive Premier League matches at Goodison Park. In that time, he's got 12 goals. He's also scored in all 8 appearances there in 2017.
That's impressive.
He just loves playing at home. He's beaten Duncan Ferguson and Franny Jeffers' runs of scoring in 6 consecutive home appearances. He's got 23 Premier League goals this season. One more than Middlesbrough have as a team.
That's ridiculous.
That's unbelievable. His league goal record only bettered by Messi, Lewandowski, Aubameyang, Belotti and Edin Dzeko. He's on the same level as Anthony Modeste and Luis Suarez.
Please, please join Manchester United. I've seen all the Snapchats, all the Instagrams last night with big Paul Pogba in his house watching the football. You never know, he's a Mino Raiola client. He could well be coming. But where is he going to go this summer, or will he stay at Everton? You can let us know what you think in the comments below. Time for some shout outs then now, guys, and you've been sending in your suggestions all weekend to me and Pato on Twitter. If you want to be involved next week, hit us up on these 2 handles. The first one in the winners comes from Sergio. He says Iker Casillas doesn't get mentioned enough. Probably true. He's got 17 clean sheets this season for Porto. Mohamed has the next one. He says AC Milan, they won 4-0 in Serie A. Pato's going to be talking a little bit more about that over on Euro Roundup later. And Mason Cook as well. He says Tammy Abraham, of course, on loan from Chelsea, been banging in the goals for fun this season for Bristol. He has 21 goals in the Championship after yet another brace this weekend, Pato.
Yeah, my shout-outs in the losers, we've got one from Darshan. He says Sunderland, they lost 3-0 at home versus what he calls a poor Man United team. Hard to argue with that, mate. Caveman, Reading, they lost 7-1 to Norwich. They were 6-1 down at half-time. Absolutely mental stuff. And then James, who says Aberdeen, they battered Rangers, that's according to him. And then conceded 3 goals in their last 5 minutes to come 3-0. Not impressive, mate.
Not impressive at all. Thanks very much for your suggestions, and get involved next week.
And don't forget to head over to Sky Sports tonight. Before the match between Arsenal and Crystal Palace, there's going to be an incredible interview with Claudio Ranieri. Now, we've talked a little bit about Craig Shakespeare today. We've talked a little bit about Leicester City going to the quarter-finals of the Champions League. So check it out and see what the Puppet Master has to say.
So that's all we've got time for on today's winners and losers. But before you do anything else, make sure you check out Euro Roundup with Pato and Specs himself. Christopher Hamill, who are you talking about, mate?
We've got both Milan clubs this week. We've got Hoffenheim and we've got Antoine Griezmann. Very exciting times.
Sexy stuff, mate. Sexy stuff. And as ever, guys, please do like and subscribe. Sayonara.